Welcome back to the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex here in Elkland, Pennsylvania. I'm Jim Flanagan. You're watching the Gremlins Network, Gremlins Invitational here at Elkland, Pennsylvania. Happy to have you with us from wherever you may be. 5 o'clock broadcast, going off just a little bit early. AWP just finishing a win, still on the field, so we got started a few minutes early. Hope you don't mind. Batting order for the Gremlins in this one, they'll be the visitors. Looks a lot like the one they threw out against the Hill United Chiefs. First pitch from Brad Kilpatrick misses downstairs. Matthew Waugh on the leadoff spot, Eric Ochoa in the 2 spot. Benny Noka 3, Cole Evans 4, Blake Hunter 5th, Lucio Redemar 6th, Abelardo Peñuelas in the 7 spot, Ladislao Malarczuk in the 8, and Nick Mullins doing the catching and batting 9th. That's the way the Gremlins shape up, and shape up they have today. 16 runs in their first game. Here's the defense for the AWP Lumberjacks. In the outfield, Valdi Turkelson in left, Frank Kimlinger in center, Juan Vala in right field. Around the infield, Fede and Fede. Fede Olheiser at third, Fede Eder at short. Cody Pannebecker at second base, Jonathan Lynch getting a start over at first base. The regular at that spot, Cisco Sabate, will be the designated player, so still in the lineup. Tyler Bully doing the catching. And as we mentioned, Brad Kilpatrick, the fine left-hander from the USA national team. Last faced Brad in the semifinal in Port Huron. The Port Huron tournament won by these Gremlins. Brad pitched a very good game, kept his team in it till the end. So a semifinalist AWP was in that one. Ball 4 low, and once again, Matthew Waugh bumping up that on-base percentage, another walk. I think the Gremlins may work walks better than any team around. Mullins leads the team with a dozen or so. Benny Noka right behind him, throw in a couple of hit by pitches of Benny, and they're about even. Matthew Waugh, as we mentioned earlier today, missed the Ashland tournament. Or more to the point, they missed him. That one gets through the first baseman over there. Neither first baseman Lynch or Pannebecker can pick it up cleanly. And Eric Ochoa is aboard. Charged the walk to the error to Lynch. Waugh moving over to second base, and once again the Gremlins have the offense moving. 16 runs in their first game against the number 9 ranked Grand Prairie Pirates. 12 runs against the number 2 ranked Hill United Chiefs. Eric Ochoa with a couple of home runs in that one. Benny Noka with a homer in that one. Benny has 2 on the day. Blake Hunter, a 3-run shot. So lots of offense from these Gremlins. And here is the aforementioned Benny Noka. Gremlins have only lost 3 games all year. One of them, the championship game just last week in Ashland. So they came into Elkland coming off a loss, something they've not been accustomed to for the past couple of seasons. They won every tournament, literally every tournament they played in last year. Started out this year winning the tournament at Simcoe, the Chiefs Challenge, and also Port Huron, the Blue Water Invitational in Michigan. But last weekend, the Northeast Drillers played a great game in the final. Wemo Mata went the distance. Tio Migliavaca, 2 hits, 2 runs scored in a 2-1 win for the Drillers. High hopper in front of the plate, up with it is Bully, throws, not in time to get Benny Noka, so the base is now loaded. Infield single for Inoka as he continues to add to the hit tally. And I said to someone earlier in the day that not necessarily angry, but I think the Gremlins came into this tournament with a point to make or wanted to rebound from that loss in Ashland. And boy, if the first two games are any indication, look out. They are on a tear. Here's Cole Evans. Off the plate outside. Evans among the leaders in the slugging percentage category. Most of his hits producing runs. Of course, being in that part of the order with the others on base. Ball off the plate downstairs. 2, 3, and 4 in the batting order. Ochoa, Inoka, and Evans batting higher up one slot. Normally they're 3, 4, 5. Jerome Remeke. Much missed. There's a ground ball down to the third. Olheiser steps in the bag, goes to the plate. And just like that, 2 outs. Ochoa out at third and Redemar at the plate. So a big couple outs there you see on the replay. Olheiser coming up with it. So from bases loaded and nobody out to a runner to runners at first and second and 2 outs. Here's Hunter. So 5-2 is the scorecard on Matthew Waugh. Five unassisted over at third base was actually the first of the 2 outs. That on Ochoa, who was at second base at the time. Then the throw to the plate. 5-2. To get Inoka. I said Redemar, it's Inoka. So good fortune has shined upon Brad Kilpatrick. That one's off the plate downstairs. In those first 2 games, it seemed like everything was going the Gremlins' way. Check swing hit, base hit, blooper, base hit, bouncer up the middle, base hit. But here in the first inning, break for the AWP Lumberjacks, so maybe the fast pitch gods trying to balance the ledger out a little bit. Foul tip swing, and Kilpatrick gets Hunter on strikes. Great effort by Brad Kilpatrick. One moment, bases loaded and nobody. And the next minute, he's out of the inning, no runs in. So for the Gremlins, no runs, 1 hit. A couple of men left. We've played half of an inning. We'll get our first look at these AWP Lumberjacks in this one right after this. We'll be back with more from the Gremlins Invitational from Elkland, Pennsylvania. Home half of the first inning for the AWP Lumberjacks. Their batting order in this one: Baldy Turkelson will lead things off. Fede Adair in the 2 spot. Jonathan Lynch in the 3 spot. Cody Pennebecker batting cleanup. Fede Olheiser batting 5th. Olheiser with that double play that saved the Lumberjacks in the prior inning. Cisco Sabate at 6. Tyler Bully at 7. Frank Kimlinger at 8. And Juan Vala in the 9 spot. That's the batting order for the Lumberjacks. The defense for the Gremlins, familiar faces, Wah, Inoka, and Redamar around the outfield. Now it's Penuelas at 3rd, Evans at short, Malarzouk at 2nd, Ochoa over at first base, and Nick Mullins doing the catching. In the circle, Kuba Osichka, the youngster from Czechia. Line shot into the dugout or at the dugout by Turkelson. I had a quick look at the game prior to this one. Turkelson started that game off with a triple. Good power, good speed has Valdi. Gremlins have faced the Lumberjacks a few times this year, have come away winners. AWP not able to come up with a win yet. Played an outstanding game, did the Lumberjacks on opening night. Was that just yesterday? They faced Hill United, the number 2 ranked team, and came away on the short end of a 2-1 score and were in that game right to the bitter end. High hopper, it'll be Kuba. No, it's Ochoa, picks it up and shovels it. Kuba came off the circle and then thought better of it. Ochoa taking charge out there. 3-4 on your scorecard. Ochoa flipping it over to Malarzouk for the out. Here's the Lumberjacks shortstop, Fede Adair. One of 2 Fedes on the left side of that infield. We try and keep them straight. Olheiser, the big fellow on the hot corner. Adair at short. Kubo with 30-odd innings pitched thus far in the season. Pablo Migliavaca, not here with the Gremlins, has thrown about the same number. Jack Besgrove, the workhorse, started the weekend with 67 and added 3 in the win over Hill United. That a run rule victory. So Jack at an even 70 innings. He has taken all 3 of the losses. They come into this game, I think, at 19-3 or 20-3. 2 hopper, Malarzouk picks it up on the short hop, makes a nice throw over to Ochoa. So the first man goes 3-4, second man goes 4-3, and that takes us to Jonathan Lynch hitting in the 3 spot. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Just a final note on Besgrove. He has taken the 3 losses, but then typically he is pitching in the toughest of the tough games. One of those losses, 1-0 to Hill in Saskatoon. Jack struck out 15. Only the home run by Villalvaso spoiled that one. In another, he went up against the New Zealand Black Sox, half of which were made up of, you guessed it, Gremlins. All of the New Zealanders. Remeke, Inoka, Evans, Mumu, even Daniel Chapman got into the mix. Swing and a miss late on that one. Good location. Mullins setting up right there. Kuba pitched in the semifinal last week in Ashland, got his team into the finals. That one's flared fouling out a play down the line. Field number 2 off in the distance. You'll see the scores online, and some of those teams will be here tomorrow. Championship Sunday, two games at 9, 2 at 11, and the championship game going off at 1 p.m. local time. Eastern time. That one gets away. Mullins fires a shot to Ochoa, so the strikeout, throw him out. 3 up and down for Kuba Osichka in the first inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left for the Lumberjacks. To the second we go. No score. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan here from the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex in downtown Elkland. Be right back. Top half of the second innings, it'll be 6, 7, and 8. Redamar, Peñuelas, and Malar-Zook. Mullins would follow if any of them can reach. Just underway. If you joined us, you haven't missed too much. We started a little bit early. Both teams on the field and ready. The Gremlins loaded the bases in the first with nobody out. Kilpatrick escaped damage. Olheiser made a nifty double play. Ground ball to him, stepped on the bag for a force, then went to the plate for a second out. And then Kilpatrick came back with a strikeout to end the inning, so that's where we are right now. Ball up high. That one's hit up the middle for a base hit. Redamar aboard with yet another hit, chasing Ochoa for the lead in that category and some others. Ochoa way out in front of all teammates. He has just been on a tear. Watching the last game, Ochoa hitting two-run homers against Hill United gives you an idea what kind of season he's having and how comfortable he is at the plate. Redamar aboard with a single. Here's the youngster, Abelardo Peñuelas. Off, or not off on the pitch. Looked like Redamar might be thinking about it. Skipper Greg Leather staying very aggressive with his base runners. There's a quartet, those with very good speed. One on base right now, one at the plate. Mumu and Masmu, the other two. And Skipper has turned them loose. Now and again they get thrown out, but it puts pressure on the defense and keeps the runners advancing into scoring position. And it hits him. He'll take a free one. Nothing intentional about that. Just looked like he got inside a little bit too much, and Peñuelas now aboard at first. Lucio Redamar at second. Very good speed on the bases. Here's Ladislav Malar-Zook. Shows bunt, foul tip in for a strike. So the Gremlins trying to reset the table that they had set in the first, loading the bases with nobody out. Gets down a bunt, and it's a beauty. Bully, only play he has to first base. Cody Pannebecker over covering. Nice snap, hard throw from Bully. So sacrifice credit Malar-Zook for moving the two runners over. And the table set once again now at the plate. The veteran Nick Mullins. In for a called strike. Mullins trying to find a way to first base, maybe load the bases and give the Gremlins a do-over on that first inning. I think he'd just as soon have a hit here and drive in two and stand on first all by himself. Mullins, we mentioned, leading the team in walks, started the weekend with a dozen. Bounces that one in the dirt. Here comes Rettimar to the plate. Slides in. He's tagged out by Kilpatrick. So the Gremlins stay aggressive, but Rettimar tagged out Penuelas. So the Lumberjacks continue to lead a charmed life. Now a runner at third. And Mullins at the plate trying to bring him home. Foul tip. So from second and third with nobody, now a runner at third and two out. Mullins chases that one, and just like the second, or just like the first inning, the second inning ends on a strikeout. Kilpatrick dodges another bullet for the Gremlins in the inning. No runs, a hit, a man left. We played an inning and a half, heading to the home half of the second. No score. Home half of the second inning for AWP. It'll be 4, 5, and 6. The first three went in order in the first inning. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout, so Pannebecker will start things off. Cody. Fede Olheiser to follow, and Cisco Sabate in the DP spot will bat third in the inning. Rise ball way out of the zone. Lots of base runners already for the Gremlins in the first two frames, but nothing to show for it. The rabbit's foot that seemed to follow them all around the first two games at the moment, missing in action. Ball downstairs. No shame in not scoring in a couple of innings, but the way things have gone for them in the earlier two, they were just catching every break possible, and every time they did, a hit would follow. Foul tip. Cody, one of the USA players, USA national team players that'll be in Oklahoma City in September for the third of 3 qualifiers for next year's World Cup. Grounder foul up along the left side. Dominican Republic and Australia coming out of the first one. Argentina and the Black Sox coming out of the second one. Played a couple of weeks ago up in Prince Albert. Canada finishing third in that one, but they'll be in it anyway because they are the host. World Cup being held in Prince Albert in 2025. USA likely to face Japan, Guatemala, competing for those 2 tickets to the show, 2 tickets to next year's World Cup. Foul tip, had a good hack at it, did Pannebecker. Bright sunny day here in Elkland. It's been heating up, a little bit warm where we are. Temperatures up above 80 degrees. Said to be hotter still yesterday. That one off the glove of Osika. Evans started up the middle for it, but the ball takes a crazy hop and no chance to make a play. So a base hit for Pannebecker to lead it off. Watch the replay here. You'll see it up off the glove, and Evans on his way to cover the middle. No chance at that one. Had to just chase it down. Here's Fede Olheiser. That one's in for a called strike. Olheiser comes in with an average right around 250, 10 for 40-ish. Shows bunt, doesn't get it down. Five RBIs, 9 runs scored, and does have a home run. So has power if he gets his pitch. Hard one down the line, foul. That one could have spelled trouble had it gone fair. There's a ground ball to Ochoa, goes to Evans, right back to Ochoa. 3-6-3, 2 outs. Like they may have done that one a few times before. 2 great defenders, Evans and Ochoa. Here's Cisco Sabate. Cisco banged one off the outfield boards earlier in the day, so he has power as well. More typically a contact hitter. Veteran, longtime player out of Argentina. Swing and a foul tip, in for a strike. Late on that one. Osika usually right around the 7 or 8 mark with strikeouts, averaging just over 1 per inning. We mentioned Jack Besgrove, almost 2 an inning. But Osika largely relies on strikeouts, and when he needs that out, not afraid to turn up the dial on the velocity. Upstairs for a ball. Newcomer to the Gremlins this year. We first saw him in the exhibition season back in January down in Fort Myers. Line shot, that one's off the glove, picked up by Penuelas and fires it over to first. Great defense by Abelardo. Osika coming to the dugout, a bit of a chuckle, had 2 balls bang off his glove, but no worse for wear. Side retired, 3 batters. The double play gets the Gremlins out of trouble there. 1 to 5 to 3 on that last one if you're keeping a scorecard with us. To the top of the third we'll go. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex here in Elkland, Pennsylvania. Top half of the third inning for the Gremlins, and already a pitching change for the Lumberjacks. Ryan French coming on in place of Brad Kilpatrick, who only threw 2 innings. Did get through the batting order, so maybe just a different look for the second time through. Kilpatrick pitching pretty darn well, got out of 2 innings, but did allow a few base runners, so maybe thinking the lucky charm has worn out its stay. We saw French earlier in the season, the Gremlins did. Gremlins managing to score some runs against him. So we're back to the top of the order. Wah, Ochoa, Inoka, and Evans. If someone can reach a bunch down, it's going to be foul. Jonathan Lynch all over that one at first base. Few players for the USA program, Lynch and Pannebecker on the right side of the infield among them. Kilpatrick, as we mentioned, one of the pitchers, although he won't be at the qualifier in September. Hard ground ball to Pannebecker. Boy, makes a nice play, moving over, keeps his body behind it, and gets the out. 4-3 on the putout. Good defense by Cody Pannebecker. Kilpatrick recently taken a new job at the University of Washington up in the Seattle area, coaching the women's program. So newcomer to the program and recruiting and preparations for season underway, unable to get away. With any luck, he'll be available come World Cup time. He's the left-hander that pitched the USA to the podium for the first time in a long time in 2022. Ball high. Ryan French, Canadian, the left side of the infield, Argentine, the 2 Fedes. Bully behind the plate, another USA member. Kimlinger, I think the most recent addition in center field to the USA national team, so look for him in September in Oklahoma City. Ball stays upstairs and Ochoa works the walk. Have to respect what he's been doing offensively, so French not wanting to give him anything he can drive. Here's Benny Noka. Aboard in the first on a base hit, and he's first pitch swinging. That one's going to stay up, though. Center fielder Kimlinger will come on. Fires the throw, but it gets away from Lynch. And Ochoa says thank you to 60 feet. He's down at second. Somebody in the stands hollering at Kimlinger. The end result is Eric Ochoa in scoring position. Cole Evans at the plate with 2 outs. Not sure if you can pick that up on the broadcast or not, but a fan not shy about sharing his opinions. Telling Kimlinger throw the ball to second base. Hard grounder off of French up the middle. Pannebecker over. Not in time to get Evans. Great effort, but not able to convert. Ball off of French, so that slowed it down. Aboard at first. Cole Evans over to third now is Ochoa. Still 2 out. So credit Evans a base hit on a tough play. They're going to check on Frenchie out there. I think it came off his pitching hand. And then Pannebecker coming over to make a good effort. Almost had Evans. Our boisterous fan still hollering in his thoughts on how things should be handled. Luciano, I'm going to ask you to turn his volume down a little bit, maybe. Blake Hunter will be the batter, strikeout victim in his first trip to the plate, but that against the lefty Kilpatrick. French taking a few warm-up tosses to make sure that hand's okay. And that indeed is where he was hit on the ball struck by Evans. Gremlins loaded the bases in the first, didn't score. A couple more on in the second, didn't score. 2 on here. There's a hard one on the outside edge. The hand not bothering Frenchie so much there. Good hard over the top drop. Another hard one. That one just misses away. 2 of the better pitches we've seen thus far from French. Comes in high and tight, just misses upstairs. Hunter had a thought about it, but laid off. Pop up in the air high to right field. Moving over to make the play is Juan Vala for the final out. So once again, the Gremlins get a couple runners aboard, not able to cash it in the inning. No runs, a hit. A couple of men left. We go to the home half of the third inning. No score. New York Gremlins and the AWP Lumberjacks. Home half of the third inning, it'll be 7-8-9. Bully, Kimlinger, and Juan Vala. Bully laces that one up the middle for a base hit. Tyler swinging a hot bat of late. Single up the middle, he's aboard. Bully last night had the big hit against the Hill United Chiefs. They were chasing two at the time. Bully banged one off the boards in the gap, a RBI double that was responsible for the lone run for the Lumberjacks. Shows bunt as Kimlinger not able to put it down. Gremlins 2-0 thus far in the tournament. They won the 11 a.m. game and the 1 o'clock game. Grand Prairie Pirates and Hill United, they need this one for that top seed in their pool. Could they win? Should they win? They would be the top seed out of their pool and draw a first round bye, not play till 11 a.m. in the semifinals. Shows bunt, but it's in for a called strike. Hard one from Osika. The Lumberjacks came into the tournament as the number 8 ranked team, but they've been playing the big boys, the top two, number 1 and 2, very tough. 1-run loss last night to Hill, and hanging in even Steven with the Gremlins in this one. Swing and a miss. Kimlinger down on strikes. Good location. Mullins setting up low. Kuba hitting the glove. 1 out. Bully still down at first base. It'll be the 9-hitter, Juan Vala. Vala with good speed. Would not be surprised to see him put one down either as a sacrifice or more likely attempt a base hit. The youngster Peñuelas right even with the bag, not, I don't think, close enough to be able to pick up the bunt and throw him out. Now coming closer is Peñuelas. In for a call strike on that one. Kuba hits the corner. Not wasting any time, Osika. Relying on the veteran Mullins for the calls, gets the sign and ready to throw. Swing and a miss late is Vala. So 2 consecutive strikeouts, and it'll bring us back to the top of the order to Valdi Turkelson. Meanwhile, Vala will come in to run for Tyler Bully on the 2-out catcher rule. Vala being the last out, takes Bully's place. So some more speed for the Lumberjacks over here at first. Turkelson out on a ground out his first time up, a 3-4 put out. Ochoa flipping it over to second baseman Ladislao Malarczuk. Swing and a miss on a good changeup way out in front of that one is Turkelson. Fooled on the pitch. Foul tip. Jack Besgrove up on the Gremlins sideline doing a little bit of soft toss if needed. I think that's a measure of how Greg Leather, the skipper, views this game. It's a big one because they don't want to play at 9. They would much prefer the shorter route to the title game. So they want to lock this one up. Off on the pitch is Vala. He's got second, but Torkelson, I guess, on the strikeout. How did they call that? I'm blocked out here. Third out recorded. We'll pick that one up on the other side. Torkelson out for the third out. Nothing in the inning except the base hit by Bully. AWP Lumberjacks from Elkland. We'll be right back. Top half of the fourth inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Redemar, Peñuelas, and Malar-Zook. Redemar led off the second inning, now finds himself leading off in the fourth, this time facing Ryan French, who came on in place of Brad Kilpatrick. Way upstairs, misses with that one. We're facing the sun again, as we did at the start of the 7 o'clock game last night, playing a little bit of havoc with us. We have a couple of jackets hanging on one side of the box we look out of so that Luciano can see the computers with all that sun. And then the right field corner is plywood on either side, so that little window I'm looking out seems to be getting smaller. Feels like somebody keeps closing the blinds on me. In for a called strike. That one right down the heart of Main Street. Good hard pitch from French. That one stays upstairs, and Redemar works the walk. So he's aboard for the second time today. He singled back in the second to lead things off. So once again with some speed on the base and speed at the plate with Peñuelas. So we'll see if the Gremlins play in for one here, if they'll turn Abelardo loose, let him swing, try and hit a gap shot. Shows bunt. Bully standing, ready to throw. Redemar's not going anywhere, at least on that pitch. Grounder foul up along the left side. Peñuelas 8 for 13 in his debut in Ashland last week. Already added to that hit total. He started the day with a .615 batting average. Got to be north of 700 at this point. Redemar tying his shoes, so we're at a momentary pause. Does that mean he's running on the pitch? We'll see. Shows bunt, pulls back and bounces one to short. They flip to second, get the leader. Fede Adair to Cody Panebecker. Good defensive play by the duo. Penuelas aboard on the fielder's choice. One out, one on, and it's Ladislao Malarczuk at the plate. Laddie, a successful sacrifice bunt last time up, moving the runners to second and third at the time. Foul tip, that'll bring Penuelas back. He was off to the races on the pitch. 22 years of age, Abayardo. Comparisons obvious to Jordan Solario, youngster for the Drillers. He just 21. Hard grounder. That one's going to find a hole. Around second, on his way to third is Penuelas. And the Gremlins, runners at the corners with one out. So Malarczuk, the veteran, longtime Gremlin, able to come through with a base hit. That'll give Nick Mullins a chance to drive in the first run. Gremlins bases loaded in the first, 2 aboard in the second, 2 aboard in the third, still looking for their first run, now with 2 aboard. Grounder foul up along the right side. Fly ball would get Penuelas home easily. The outfield playing a little shallow, especially Turkelson out in left field. That one skips to the screen. Here comes Penuelas, this time safe ahead of the throw. The ball gets away from French. Meanwhile, over to third on a nice pop-up slide. Malarczuk is safe. So pass ball, wild pitch, however you score it, the run is in. Penuelas with a nice slide, and then Malarczuk, seeing the play come to the plate, says, I'll take third. There you see the replay. Plenty of time, and the ball hadn't arrived yet. Don't see how they have an argument, but good time to talk about our umpires. Glenn Brown, who's been on the bases for a couple of the earlier ones, is the plate umpire. Glenn from Washington State. Mike Morrissey is the base umpire. Mike from Ontario, Canada. So pass ball in my book, we'll check with the official on that. Doesn't matter what you call it, it produced a run. Malarczuk over at third now, just 60 feet away, so same situation applies. Mullins can get one to the outfield. That would turn into another run. Just one out, the force out at second base, Adair and Panebecker. Hard grounder to Adair. He gloves it, fires over to Lynch, 6-3 put out. 2 outs. There you see on the replay, a hard hit ball, but right at Adair. And a solid defensive shortstop he is, makes the play. 2 outs in the inning, back to Matthew Waugh at the top of the order. Waugh was the first batter to face French, so his second look at Ryan. Way upstairs, that one almost winds up at the backstop. Malarczuk at third. Pretty good amount of territory behind home plate to the backstop, so anything getting by the catchers gives the runners a legitimate chance to come home and score. Splits the uprights with that one, called strike. Some of the fans still enjoying what I've called the knothole club, that open section of fence out in left center. Great view of the game. Hard grounder, that one gets through. Pannebecker coming home to score the second run is Malarzuk. Matthew Waugh picks up an RBI. Tough chance for Pannebecker, a hit in my book. RBI for Matthew Waugh, and it'll give Eric Ochoa a chance to add to that lead. Eric's been aboard twice today, reached on an error and walked last time up. Got as far as third base both times. Hasn't scored. Lays off the high one. That one's in for a call. Strike. Ochoa takes a look back at our home plate umpire, Glenn Brown, as if to say, was it? Off on the pitch is Waugh, safe at second. The pitch is high on Ochoa. So Matty's still running well as a veteran. Feels like 2023 with Matty back at the top of the order. He's been on base all day long. He goes, they go. Hard one to short. That's going to be through. Around third, coming home to score is Matty Waugh. Meanwhile, Ochoa, double, thinks about third base and then thinks better of it. Another hard hit shot to the 5.5 side of the bag. Hitting machine, Eric Ochoa. There he is. You see that big turn? He thinks, well, maybe not. Maybe not. The inning started with a walk. Coming around was erased on a force out. But then Penuelas, reaching on the fielder's choice, came home on the pass ball. Sliding in safely with the first run. Malarzuk cashing in the second. And Matty Waugh now the third run of the inning as the Gremlins finally break through. Swing and a miss. Sonny Noka goes after one downstairs. Two home runs already on the day for Ben. Had one in the 11 o'clock game against the Pirates and another one against the Chiefs. One and one, the count to Benny Noka. Hard one. That one's up the middle for a base hit. Ochoa rounding third. He'll hold. Inoka swinging a hot bat today here in Elkland. So runners on the corners. Inoka at first, Ochoa over at third. Cole Evans will be the batter, and that'll bring a visit from Roman Fior. Chat with his pitcher. French came on in the third, started with a clean slate after Kilpatrick pitched the first two. It was Luis Amaya that threw last night against Hill United. If you're wondering who else might be available, looks like two folks are up on the sideline, a catcher and a pitcher over there. So, no, that is Cody Gibbons, not Luis Amaya, as he comes around the corner. Cody Gibbons coming in relief last night in the Hill game. Two big strikeouts to get out of an inning. Hard throwing youngster. That one's in at the knees for a strike. Good location by French. In for a called strike as well, that one downstairs. French trying to keep the ball down. Evans, of course, with home run power. The margin right now at 3, but a big fly from Evans would double that. French misses upstairs. Evans, a hopper out to Pennebecker. He'll grab Inoka with the ball coming by. Side retired. But the Gremlins cash in 3 in the inning. They're up on top now, 3-0 as we head to the home half of the fourth. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from Elkland, Pennsylvania. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be right back with more. Home half of the fourth inning, AWP now chasing 3 runs. Two, 3, and 4 for the Lumberjacks. Fede Adair to start things off. Jonathan Lynch and Cody Pennebecker to follow. Heart of the order. A little cushion for Kuba Osika now with a 3-run margin over the Lumberjacks. We'll see how he responds with that. Comes right at Adair, bunting, foul. We've talked about Elkland, Pennsylvania. Lots of folks sending notes in asking about Elkland. Some have been here already, but others that are further away from Pennsylvania, myself included, my first trip here, didn't know too much about it. I talked to the skipper, Greg Leather, about it. He's been coming up here since 2006, came up for a Labor Day event and just fell in love with the place and has been coming back ever since. They've had a few variations of the tournament. They still hold the one on Labor Day. This one at one point was referred to as the Elkland Invitational. At present, it is the Gremlins Invitational, prize money at stake, and hosted by this New York squad. Good pitch by Osika. Down on strikes goes Adair. It is unique to other ballparks. You see on the screen some of the old-time remnants of a field built back in 1952. So the field older than I'm happy to announce. A hard one up the middle. Evans making a nice play coming across the bag. Looking like a rollout quarterback moving to his left. Comes up throwing to Ochoa, 2 outs. It's an old field, and it looks like an old field, but lots of charm, and there's a certain vibe to it. People have been coming here for many years. Swing and a miss by Pannebecker. The scenery you can't find in most places. The lush rolling hills, the deep forests lining either side of the road. So they ask where is Elkland exactly? It's a little less than 3 hours south of Buffalo. About a 4+ hour drive from Cleveland or Pittsburgh, heading east. 4 hours from Newark on the East Coast, back on the fly ball to Rettamar. And an easy inning for Kuba Osika, 1-2-3. That's how he responds when pitching with a 3-run lead. Side retired, the Lumberjacks, no runs, no hits, and nobody left. To the top of the 5th we go. 3-0 New York Gremlins trying to close out pool play with a perfect 3-0 record. We'll be back with more. New pitcher for the AWP Lumberjacks, their 3rd in the game, Cody Gibbons, the young right-hander from Team USA junior program, now advancing into the senior men's level. 3rd pitcher, the theory perhaps one time through the order for Kilpatrick, one time through, give or take, for Ryan French, and now a different look from Cody Gibbons. Gibbons was sharp last night, came in and got 2 strikeouts to get the Lumberjacks out of trouble in one of the late innings. One of the harder throwers around. Got his team to Pan American Gold. Still eligible to pitch in the U23 cycle next time, but a member also of the senior team. Gibbons, one of those kids that grew up around a ball diamond, tells the story about sitting on a bucket and watching his father play, taking notes mentally, learning the game. Has been pitching since his middle teens. Hunter, Rettamar, and Peñuelas for the Gremlins in the 5th. Swing and a miss late on that one. Fooled on the location, I think. Looking for something up in the zone. Gremlins up by 3. They need 9 outs to finish pool play undefeated, but would like to add a bigger cushion here. Swinging a foul tip late on the pitch from Gibbons. 16-1, 12-1 winners on the day. The Gremlins, this is game 3. Took a few innings before they could push across a run. Hard to play 3 in one day. Foul tip, they're going to check it. No. Not foul tip. Way upstairs, and Blake Hunter has worked a leadoff walk. It was a leadoff walk last inning to Redemar that started trouble for the Lumberjacks, and here is Redemar once again. Lucio's been aboard twice today, had a single up the middle in the walk last time. Trying to move Hunter over. Strike called. Down in the dirt with that one. Swing and a miss on that one. Late is Redemar. Good rise ball from Gibbons. Corners even with the bag. In for a call, strike three. Redemar doesn't argue it. One out in the inning. Abayardo Penuelas at bat. Abelardo aboard twice, a hit by pitch and a fielder's choice. Downstairs for a ball. Foul tip. Couple of youngsters here going against each other. Gibbons in the circle. Penuelas at the plate, just 22. Youth shall be served. That one's lined into center field in front of Kimlinger. So Abelardo with another base hit. Moving over to second on the play is Hunter. Adair playing a little cat and mouse, I think, trying to wait for Hunter to step off the bag. Didn't. Here's the replay on that. Ball out over the plate, and Abelardo just spanks it up the middle. So two aboard for the Gremlins, one out. And the batter, Ladislao Malarczuk. Malarczuk with a base hit to right last time. That was against French, though. His first look at Gibbons. Called strike. One hopper to Gibbons, looks to second, comes back to first for the out. No chance to get Penuelas at second, but he looked, faked a throw, and then back for the out on Malarczuk. Two outs, runners now, second and third, Hunter at third, Penuelas at second. There you see the play on the replay. Nick Mullins 0 for 2 on the day. Strikeout, ground out. Would love to cash in 2 right here. Mullins and Gibbons teammates on Team USA. So Mullins has caught him. In for a called strike. I never liked facing the catchers that I pitched to in games when I was pitching. Mullins keeps a book on everything mentally. That one's lifted high and shallow in left field. Coming on to make an easy catch on that one, Valdi. Turkelson side retired. Gibbons pitches out of trouble for the Gremlins in the inning. No runs a hit. A couple of men left. To the home half of the fifth we go. Early getting late for AWP. Still looking for that first run. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational from Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex here in Elkland, Pennsylvania. We'll be back. Five, 6, 7 in the batting order for the Lumberjacks. Olheiser, Sabate, and Tyler Bully. Bully with the only hit of that trio. Osika still in the game. He started for the Gremlins. Lumberjacks now on pitcher number 3. Kilpatrick threw the first 2. Dodged a couple of bullets. Ryan French the next couple. And now Cody Gibbons with 1 under his belt. Luis Amaya, another pitcher over in the dugout still. He has thrown very well of late. He threw the Hill game last night. So I have to think they're holding him in case this thing tightens down the stretch. Laced into left field, the 5.5 hole. Olheiser really cranked up for that one. Just body weight back and then forward. Hard hit ball. Here's the replay. Big step. Cisco Sabate at the plate. He was erased last at bat on that ball off of the pitcher. 1-5-3 was the put out. Laced down the line. That one's fair. Olheiser rounding second on his way to third. He's going to head on home, and he'll come in to score a run. Cisco Sabate lines one perfectly down the line. It took Olheiser a little bit of time to get the engine started there, but once he got rolling, he wasn't going to stop. 3-1, Gremlins. RBI double for Sabate. And here's Tyler Bully. That one gets away from Mullins, and Cisco will take 60 feet over at third now. Bully of late swinging about as well as anybody in the lineup. We mentioned the RBI double against Hill United's Marco Diaz last night. Foul tip. Blocked by Mullins at the plate. And they appeal, and they do get the call on the swing. Mullins alertly going right to the home plate umpire, saying, please ask for help. Grounder right back to Osika. He flips it underhand to Ochoa after looking over to third and making sure Sabate wasn't going anywhere. So 1 out. Frank Kimlinger at the plate. In for a called strike. Good hard one on the inside edge. In for a call strike again. Swing and a miss. Kimlinger down on strikes. Perfect location downstairs by Osika. Nothing he could do with that pitch. That'll bring Juan Vala to the plate. Vala hitting around the 250 mark, but second on the team in RBIs with 14. A couple of home runs to go with it. The only dent in that armor, a few too many strikeouts. Leads the team in that category. Swing and a miss on that one late. Good location again from Osika, living on the drop. Drop ball, slow roller to Peñuelas, up over to Ochoa. Throws a little bit off the mark, but Eric hanging on for the final out. So good inning, good closure to the inning by Kuba Osika. Gets out of the fifth, just 1 run in, strands the runner at third. For the Lumberjacks, they do get a run on the 2 hits. The big one, the double by Sabate driving home Olheiser. To the top half of the 6th we go. The score, Gremlins 3, Lumberjacks 1. Top of the 6th, top of the order for the New York Gremlins. That means Matthew Waugh back at the plate. This is 4th at-bat of the game. He's been aboard a couple of times, walked back in the 1st. And aboard with a base hit last time up in the 4th. Cody Gibbons, 3rd pitcher for the Lumberjacks. Kilpatrick and French preceded. In for a called strike at the letters. Grounder out to Pannebecker. Easy toss over to Jonathan Lynch for the first out.
Next batter for the Gremlins, the first baseman,
Eric Ochoa at the plate had a single to left field right in that 5.5 hole last time. That against Ryan French. Also reached on a walk, reached on an error in the first. Off the plate away. As is Mullins. Ochoa, a teammate of Cody Gibbons on the USA team. Likely to see them in September. Inside, ball. One more game on tap here from Elkland. That going off at 7 p.m. Then they'll let the dust settle and figure out the seeding. 2 9 a.m. games for the lower seeds. Pool winners in each of the two pools will draw a first round bye and play in the semis at 11 against the winners of the 9 a.m. games. Misses away, and Ochoa once again aboard with a walk. So word getting around about Eric Ochoa on a hot hitting streak all year. Some of the pitchers pitching around him. They didn't in the Hill United game, and Ochoa made him pay with two two-run homers. Tane Mumu will come in to run for Ochoa. Good speed on first. I'm thinking skipper Greg Leather would like to get the run back that the Lumberjacks just scored. We'll see if they turn Tane loose. He comes off the bag like he's going somewhere, but doesn't. Inoka at the plate. Benny with a couple of hits on the day, 2 for 3. Downstairs for a ball. Hard one. Into the hole in right field. Mumu scoots around second on his way to third. That kid can fly. Tane Mumu over at third. So Benny with his third hit of the day. Got off to a bit of a slow start offensively, drawing plenty of walks in the early going, but he has really found his stroke. 2 home runs on the day, 3 hits in this one. Doing what they need from him in that 3 spot. Here's Cole Evans. Keep an eye on Tane Mumu at third. Anything to the backstop, and he will be off running. Good location, just missing inside. In at the knees, good location from Gibbons. Looking very comfortable out there. Way upstairs, that one started high and went higher still. Downstairs for a ball, and Evans with the walk. So a walk to Ochoa. His runner now in the form of Tane Mumu. Inoka with a single. He moves to second. And as they did way back in the first inning, the Gremlins with the bases loaded, this time with one out. In the first, it was nobody out, did not score, but here's Blake Hunter. Swing and a miss late on that one is Hunter. You walk the tightrope as a pitcher against these Gremlins. You don't want to give in, but you start walking people, and next thing you know, you've got company everywhere you look. Ball off the plate. Pretty good spot for that pitch, but not close enough to let Hunter take a shot at it. Strike on the outside edge, not too much over from the prior pitch. So a ball and two on Blake Hunter. Chance to cash in a few here. Lays off the high one. Foul tip. Bully not able to hang on. Loads of walks worked by the Gremlins in the 2024 season. Most all of the batters with on-base percentages north of 400, some even higher than that. Mullins, Ochoa, Inoka, three that come to mind. Lined up the middle, there's a base hit. Coming home to score is Mumu. Right behind him, Inoka. Trips a little bit coming in, but 2 runs. Sliding in safely at second is Blake Hunter with a 2-run base hit. So exactly what we were talking about, a couple of walks surrendered by Gibbons, and those have been cashed in. Or at least one of those that scored walked. The other walk over at third in the form of Cole Evans. So 5-1 margin. Lumberjacks down to their last 6 outs here in the top of the 6th. Can't afford to give any more. 2 on the pond. Evans at third, Hunter at second. Redemar 1 for 2 plus a walk. Rounder foul on the right side. Change up and a beauty. Redemar slaps the bat. Good idea for that pitch. Good call by Tyler Boulay in that spot. 2 outs in the inning. It'll be up to the youngster Abelardo Penuelas to try and cash in 2 more. 2 runs already in from the Gremlins. Couple of hits, couple of walks. Penuelas lays off that one. Hard grounder. Pannebecker scoots over to his left, flips it to Jonathan Lynch for the final out of the inning. So the Gremlins add a couple of runs, tough runs, given up by the Lumberjacks as they run down to their final 6 outs. We'll be back with the home half of the 6th inning right after this. You're watching the Gremlins Invitational. Gremlins and the Lumberjacks. Home half of the 6th inning, a couple of changes for the Gremlins. That is not Kuba Osika in the circle. Jack Besgrove coming on to pitch for him. The other substitution, Eric Ochoa, coming back into the game. You remember Tane Mumu ran for him, so he has re-entered. That is the sum total of changes to this point. So again, a measure of the importance Greg Leather puts on this game, this win. He wants to be that top seed in that pool. Brings in Jack Besgrove. Besgrove has pitched in, I believe, starting the weekend, had thrown 13 games. Only 8 of those were starts. So that tells you he's seen a bit of duty in relief, and he has been stellar. It was Besgrove down the stretch in Port Huron, closed things out. Top of the order for the Lumberjacks, Valdi Turkelson, Fede Adair, and Jonathan Lynch. Early is late for the Lumberjacks. Little nubber out in front of the plate off his foot. Besgrove fields it nicely for his position, but we'll reset and do it again. Turkelson, we mentioned, had a triple in an earlier game today. That one against the Pirates, Grand Prairie Pirates. So he can reach the fences. Hard one to short, Evans, smooth as silk. 6-3 put out on your card. Makes it look so easy. Watch the replay here. Slides to his right, up and throwing, everything in sync. Fede Adair 0 for 2, ground out to second, and a strikeout. Those, of course, against Cuba. Swing and a miss, that one right by Fede. What a weapon to have. Jack Besgrove coming on in relief. Liner to third. Abelardo scoops it on one hop over to Ochoa. 2 outs. I want to see the replay. Nice quick hands over there. Goes the other way with it. Picks and throws off that front foot, running towards first base. Here's Jonathan Lynch, 0 for 2. Strikeout, ground out. First time facing Besgrove. Lays off the high one. Lynch, a teammate of Nick Mullins and Eric Ochoa on Team USA. Mullins having a chuckle with Lynch about something down there. In for a strike, good location by Besgrove. Besgrove picked up the win today in the Hill United game, had the benefit of not having to throw but 3 innings in the run rule victory, so fresher than he might be. Lynch tries to stay back, a little flare foul. Upstairs for a ball. Hola Braddock started for Hill, by the way, if you were wondering. Ramon Godoy came on. Neither one of the two could stem the tide. Swing and a miss late on that one. Good location. Ties him up inside. 1-2-3 inning for Jack Besgrove. Couple of ground balls and a strikeout. AWP down to their final 3 outs. The Gremlins trying to tack on some insurance. To the 7th we go. We'll be right back from Elkland, Pennsylvania. I'm Jim Flanagan. You are watching the Gremlins Network. Eight 8-9-1 for the Gremlins. Ladislao Marlarzuk, Nick Mullins, and then back to the top of the order to Matthew Waugh. Gremlins with lots of base runners in the early innings, but it took them till the 4th before they could punch across a couple. Added 3 more. That's where we are at a 5-1 margin. Some scores from the other games. Games 1 and 2 last night. Hill United 2-1 winner over these Lumberjacks. Bear Creek a winner over Team 518. A young team with a young New Zealand pitcher on board. Wound up 0-3 on the weekend, but got some great experience. Played very tough last night against Bear Creek. Number 3 ranked Drillers over number 5 Circle Tap. Swing and a miss by Marlarzuk. Hill United over the Grand Prairie Pirates. Likewise, the Gremlins over the Pirates. Drillers over Team 518. That one's lifted out of play on the left side. Gremlins over the Chiefs. 1 beats 2 in that one. Circle Tap with a win over Team 518. And we'll have to catch up on the latest scores. Lined up the middle, base hit by Ladislao Marlarzuk. Stayed back on the ball. Marlarzuk with his second hit of the day. Getting a little dusty out there at this point in the day. Started at 9 a.m., 2 games on each of the fields, and every couple of hours since. Nick Mullins at the plate. Mullins 0 for 2, strikeout, ground out, looking for his first hit of the game. Way upstairs. Good hard one in for a called strike on the outside edge. In for another called strike. We mentioned Luis Amaya, the fourth pitcher in the dugout for AWP. I have to think that this one is Gibbons' game to finish. They'll be in the playoff round tomorrow, and Luis throwing very well, so I think perhaps they hold him. If the margin here was a little less, perhaps not, but at 5-1, down to your final 3 outs. Little nubber out in front of the plate. Foul. Malarzouk and Eder kicking some dirt in each other's direction. Both members of the Argentina squad, of course, as is Olheiser over at third. Foul tip. I think Malarzouk just running down to second to take another shot at Eder. Foul tip over the screen. Want to make some acknowledgments. Our thanks to Softball Premier TV, Luciano Lofrano and his wife Carol, behind the controls, on the cameras, out here early. Hard to appreciate how long it takes just to set up the cameras, get everything set and ready. And then, of course, at the end of the day, taking everything down. Like the old song by Will Smith, first one in, last one out. That is Softball Premier TV. They do it week in and week out for all of you so that you can enjoy the streaming video that you're seeing right now. Thanks to the sponsor of the Gremlins, Bruce Tansky, for his generous support of the Gremlins Network and the broadcast program. Swing and a miss late is Mullins. Good pitch by Gibbons. Turned the dial up a little bit on that one. So first out of the inning, back to the top of the order we go. Seems like we keep seeing Matthew Waugh at the plate every inning. Actually at bat number 5 on the day. He's been aboard a couple of times, a walk and a base hit. High hopper to second. Pannebecker flips to Eder. They'll take the out. Last chance for Malarzouk to kick some dust in that direction. He's retired. So 2 outs in the inning. Matthew Waugh takes his place at first, and Eric Ochoa at the plate. 4 times aboard in 4 plate appearances, a walk, an error, 2 walks, and a hit. Ball high. You have to think that Cody Gibbons watched the earlier game with Hill United, the 2 home runs from Ochoa, doesn't want to give him anything to cap off his day. If you're an AWP fan looking ahead to the 7th, it's 4, 5, 6, Pannebecker, Olheiser, and Sabate. .3-0 now as he pitches around Ochoa. 3-0 swinging as Eric fouls that one straight back. Not looking for his 3rd walk of the day. In for a call, strike on the outside edge, not reaching for that one. In for a call, strike, and down goes Ochoa. So the inning finished. Cody Gibbons finishes strong. Last call for the Lumberjacks. To the home half of the 7th we go. 5-1, Gremlins on top in this one. Last call for the Lumberjacks here in the 7th, chasing 4. It'll be their 4, 5, 6 hitters, starting off with Cody Pannebecker, top hitter for this squad. Started the day with, or started the game with a .380 average. He is 2nd in hits, only behind teammate Jonathan Lynch. Cody has 19 to Lynch's 22. Change up and a beauty. You saw the flinch, so to speak, from Pannebecker. Not expecting that one. Swing and a miss on a good rise ball. Down on strikes goes Pannebecker. 1 out, and the Lumberjacks down to their final pair of outs. Fede Olheiser will step in now. Called strike. Olheiser comes in hitting about .260. His on-base percentage, though, a good 100 points higher. Strike 2 called. He has home run power. You have to think a number of pitchers pitching around him responsible for that on-base percentage being so high. Way upstairs, lays off, the big fella does. Just off the plate. Besgrove on in relief. He would get the save if he's able to close things out right now with a 4-run margin. Kuba Osika stands to be the winner. Ties him up inside. They ask on the appeal. Not. Full count now on Olheiser. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss right on by the right-hander. Jack Besgrove turns up the dial. 2 batters up, 2 batters strikeouts. And we will have a hitter, it appears, for Sabate. Danny Allstedt will step in. So Allstedt represents the final hope here for AWP. In for a called strike. AWP winners in their game prior to this one against the Pirates. Tough loss last night to Hill United, so they would finish pool play 1 and 2 and have to see how the seeding shakes out. Hard ground ball to second. That one's going to be a base hit. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the second hit in a row he's had off of Besgrove last week in Ashland, the other. So Allstedt apparently heard me talking about tomorrow and seeding and the end of this game. He wants no part of that. Bully at the plate. Upstairs for a ball. Upstairs for another ball. Bully with 10 hits coming into this tournament, but a couple, 3 of them have been big hits, extra bases among them. Second in the team in walks, has 14. That's Mullins, Inoka territory. Swing and a miss, foul tip. Beautiful aerial view of the field thanks to Mr. Lofrano and his drone. That is us up on the right-hand side, just over the first base dugout. Gives you an idea of what the ballpark looks like from a bird's eye view. Foul tip. Luciano, we're going to have to put a microphone on that boisterous fan over on the other side. Bully only his latest target. See if we can pick up some of that so they can enjoy him along with the rest of us. He's been at it the whole game. Give him credit for the vocal cords. Swing and a miss by Bully. Full count now on Tyler Bully, 3 and 2. Jack Besgrove looking to close it out, send his team home for the day with an unblemished record. Swing and a foul tip. Mullins hangs on. That's the ball game. Final score here in the 5 o'clock game. New York Gremlins 5, AWP Lumberjacks 1. The Gremlins do indeed finish the day with a perfect 3-0 record. 16-1 over the Pirates, 12-1 over Hill United, and 5-1 over the AWP Lumberjacks. That means the Gremlins clinch the top spot in their pool. They'll draw a first-round bye. Games start tomorrow on Championship Sunday at 9 a.m. Lower seeds play each other on both fields. 2 9 a.m. games. The winners will advance to play the pool winners, Gremlins among them. We'll look for updates online, see how the rest of these games shake out. One more game at 7 p.m. tonight. We won't be on the air, or I won't be for that one. We'll be back to see and spend some time with you tomorrow. Hope you can stick around and watch the end of this one. In final score, 5-1 Gremlins. Winners here for Luciano Lofrano in Softball Premier TV, for the Gremlins Network, for the Elkland Fast Pitch Association here at the Dirk Sherman Memorial Complex in Elkland, Pennsylvania. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll see you tomorrow.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas.
Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more.
The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.